Hi folks, this is Stoic Steve, back with another episode of Base Improvement. Let's see the finished product for our last episode. Increased the chicken pen size, as well as a little bit of redstone underneath. Won't go into that much, but this time around we're going to be working on our kelp farm. I've got the basic layout plotted out. So what we're going to be doing is having a line of furnaces all around here. When it's done cooking, we can throw it down into these hoppers. It's going to have a chest down here full of the cooked kelp. And then we can craft that, and we'll have a chest up top to feed the kelp blocks into the furnaces to keep those fueled. And there will be a line of hoppers going all along this line. We'll come around and feed into the furnaces. The kelp itself will be in these holes I have marked out, and those will be a line of observers up top with piston at the bottom. Kelp block will be down here, and hoppers in the center. A little bit of redstone in the back. The idea being, once any of the kelp along the line grows to 3 blocks high, the observer will spot it and knock off the kelp with a piston, and that'll all go into the hoppers with the water flow. I'm not entirely sure how deep I'm going to make these, probably about 30 to 60 blocks deep, but that should give us a very steady stream of kelp coming in to cook. This will be a nice source of EXP, as well as a nice source of fuel. I might make another line of hoppers coming along to these furnaces to fuel a few of them. I rework my old setup a little bit so it stays fueled constantly. And we'll be back once I get the furnaces set up and I'm starting to dig out these holes, putting in the kelp farms themselves. So I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, and welcome back. We've got our furnaces and the hoppers set up. The top row will feed in the kelp. The bottom row will feed in the fuel blocks. And I've got this area dug out, 32 deep. This is where our kelp farms are going to be. Got this separated out with some lanterns just to prevent any spawns. So from here we'll just be starting with our piston line. Going to be the same on each side. Alright, above that we'll be putting our observers to detect the kelp once it grows 3 blocks tall. And we'll be putting a redstone on top of these dirt blocks behind them, and that redstone will activate the pistons. Okay, now we've got both these lines worked out. We'll be adding in the central hoppers. The 2 lines of hoppers, both feeding into the system. Alright, and now with the hoppers all set up, all that remains is to put in the water and the kelp. And as scary as those pistons look, they aren't actually going to suffocate you, so you don't have to worry too much about that. Just got to get this all filled up, then we can put the kelp in at bottom. Okay. And because of the way that the pistons apparently prevent the water from going over the hoppers in the center, I've opted to just go ahead and remove the hoppers first and put them in afterwards. And instead of using water buckets, we'll just use ice blocks to put down our water source blocks. Now we can put in our hoppers again. Any ice that doesn't melt will just break but it should melt pretty quickly. Okay. So, interesting learning experience. Apparently, the pistons also prevent the ice blocks from turning into water source blocks if you simply break them. So instead, I have to wait for them to melt, and that should turn them into full water blocks. So I went ahead and put lanterns on both sides. And the right-hand side, where all of our lanterns were, is already melted, so we'll go and put our kelp in on that side while we wait for the other side to melt. And kelp, of course, grows on any surface, unlike most plants. So that's nice and easy to plant. Alright. With all the ice melted, with all our kelp planted, we can just seal this off. You can see the kelp is already growing in there. And you can see here our first furnaces are already filling up. Yes. Excellent. And as with the chicken farm, I may make some tweaks off camera. But please, by all means, let me know what you thought of this design. If you think there are any alterations that should be made. But as is, I'm quite happy. It's a welcome addition to farms I have going now. Next up, I'll probably be taking care of our pumpkin and sugarcane farms. There's a fair few number of things I'd like to get up to snuff around here. I'm glad to have this one mostly out of the way. But yeah, I hope you all enjoy. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.